thingy.
Yeah.
This one with the little people.
Yep.
No. We're back. We're back. Here's Puma. Yeah, right there.
What's up?
Puma, say hi. We're going to go live here in a second with Jesse Itzler here in my office in the city, running all over the place with showings. It's been totally crazy. I saw this book taped to my hand because there's discipline to doing this, which is why I really wanted to bring in Jesse. So hold on. Let me just hit the little people here. Send request. Go live on Instagram now. So let me get it ready here. Just waiting, connecting.
I got this taped to my hand too.
What?
Yep, I got a calendar taped to my hand, Ryan.
Dude, I want to talk to you about that calendar. That thing is ginormous. I was like, that thing must take up an entire room.
You just need it taped to your hand like your book is. You can take it anywhere you go. I could scratch my head with it.
I've actually been
back scratcher.
Thing now. There's a lot of things that I can do with this thing. Listen, you're the man. Thank you for doing this and coming on and chatting for a few minutes. Where are you right now?
I too am in my office. Here's my office. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Dude, you crush it. You're an inspiration. You know, I put up that Instagram, the story saying I was going to do this at 3:30. It's like I put up something like earth-shattering to the world from the people who follow me anyway. They're like, shut the fuck. Really? No, really? He's doing, oh my God, this big-ass calendar he's got. So is he in ice? I'm like, whoa. Are you in ice right now? No?
I didn't get the dress memo, though. I didn't get the dress code.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a lowly real estate broker here in the city. With my clients, they expect me. They're like, come on, Serhant. I said, I want to talk to you about discipline. It's something I talk about all the time. I was raised in a really conservative household, and I resented it a lot when I was a little kid. But it was the discipline I think really resonated with me. That stuck with me as I got into sales, being an entrepreneur, and contractor, moving forward. And you are Mr. Discipline. Before I get into any other questions, I mean, what role does discipline play in your life and how you've been able to find success?
Yeah, well, I don't love the word discipline because I think people think if you have discipline, they associate it with deprivation.
Sure. And
deprivation never works.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a lifestyle. I don't look at it as, yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I don't love the word discipline. For me, it's like a lifestyle. So if I have a goal, it's my lifestyle until that goal is completed. It's not a chore. It's not like I have to. I just weave it into the DNA of everyday life. But it's very important because there's so many distractions, man. And it plays a very big role in my life. Yeah.
How do you prepare for kind of all the endurance activities that you do? Can you talk to me about the mindset? Because we talk about, mental mindset all the time for work and, and preparing for your day, but to sit there in a pool of ice or to do the races that you do, if you're not using the word discipline, I mean, what is it? Is it just mental focus?
First of all, I don't negotiate my goals. So when I have a goal, I don't negotiate. I don't negotiate. You keep bringing up the cold. I like to go in cold water, which is a great test of mental toughness or, no one likes, you can't hide from the cold. But if that's what I'm going to do, I don't go in there and negotiate it in my head. Should I, shouldn't I? I just kind of go, So that's really important. Not negotiating your goals is really important. And listen, man, this is how I look at it. Nobody on this chat, nobody watching right now is going to be on Earth in 100 years. Yeah. There'll be a new wave of humans. Like when you start to realize your own mortality and how short our window is, the fear and like, I don't know if I should do it or shouldn't do it goes away because we don't have that many chances left to do stuff, man. Like, you and I want to do this much in this much amount of time. We don't have forever. So I'm very aware of my own mortality. And the one thing I want to do, Ryan, is I don't want to have, when I turn 80, 70, 80, I don't want to regret what I could have done when I was 30 and 40. And I'm aware of that, man. So I'm really aware of my relationship with time. And, people think of relationships in terms of how are you and Ryan friends? What's your relationship with your kids? What's your relationship with your parents? But what's your relationship with money? And what's your relationship with time? Because those two things are really important to really have an understanding of what it is. And my relationship with time, I live life urgent, man. I have tremendous urgency. Just real quick, I know this is a two-way conversation, but
no, dude, I love this. I'm taking so many notes right now. This is awesome. Keep going.
But listen, I climbed Mount Washington love the book. I love the book. And I let everybody on social media know I'm going to go climb this mountain. It's only 4 miles to the top, but in the winter, it's really dangerous, really cold, like -30 cold with the wind chill. And everybody knew I was going to do it. And they've known I've run 100-mile races and whatever. Like, it's a 4-mile hike. It's not a big deal. But when we got close to the top, we had timed out. We said, if we don't get to the summit by 1 o'clock, it's going to get dark. We got to turn around. So I didn't make it. And when I came home, everyone's like, you didn't make it? You couldn't climb 4 miles? Like, you didn't make it? And I said to my wife, like, you know, I want to go back. And she's like, well, listen, you numbskull, get a guide, get a tour guide, train for it, learn about outdoor camping, and go back next winter. And I'm like, next winter? I'm going back on Saturday. Like, this Saturday. Because, like, I don't know what's going to happen next winter. I might break my leg next winter. I might have COVID next winter. So my relationship with time is, if I can do it now and if I have a chance to, like, create a moment, I'm going to take advantage of it.
I love that. You're talking about, so random, Mount Washington in New Hampshire?
Yeah. But you know that Mount Washington in the winter is one of the most deadliest mountains in the United States to try to summit.
Can I tell you something? I had no idea you were going to bring that up. I went to high school outside Boston in the North Shore, and my parents forced me when I was a kid to play every single sport known to man, because they told me, you got to try everything. Don't not play football. Don't not play tennis. Don't not play like every sport. You can ask my dad. And I hated every single one of them. I was terrible at all of them. Awful. And one of the sports was called Pursuit, which was a mountain climbing class, where you would go and you'd hike mountains. And one of the mountains that we climbed and we summited in the winter with you know, crampons and everything was Mount fucking Washington in New Hampshire, and it was the worst. But I remember getting to the top. I remember taking the photo with the sign, 5,200 whatever feet it was up there. But it was super vertical. That is a tough one, man. It's like the only mountain climbing memory I actually have, I think, because it was so terrible.
You know what
it
I
made
love
a lasting
about
impression
that?
on me.
I love that you remember that. See, like, when you do things, talking about time, when you do things like that out of your routine, you know, if I asked you, Ryan, what'd you do in 2015? You'd have no idea. If I asked everybody on this call, you know, watching, what did you do 8 days ago? Most people couldn't even tell us, because we live in routine. But when you do those kind of things, you never forget them. They become like these lifetime things that you just never forget. And I think that's so important. So I love that you remember that.
Yeah, it's so weird that you brought that up, because I have not thought about that moment in a long time. So you mentioned your relationship to time and your relationship to money. What's your relationship to money?
Well, it doesn't drive me. I think that, you know, I love to make money. I love to spend money on the right things. I love to give money away, but it's not what makes my decisions. You know, just because something is just because you have an idea that could make you a lot of money doesn't mean you should do it. You got to factor in aggravation versus reward. You know, so I want, at this stage of my life at 53, I want as low aggravation. I always want the high reward, right? But with people or anything, I want low aggravation. So a lot of people are willing to have high aggravation for money. And I don't. I mean, I like money. I'm a capitalist, but it's not something that I think about. And I know it's easy to say at this stage of my life, but it never was. I always prioritize experiences in my life. I had a financial advisor come to me the other day and said, would you rather leave your kids a boatload of money or leave your kids a boatload of life experiences? And of course, you'd rather give them experiences. But a lot of people, and one more thing on this, they did a really famous survey where they interviewed all these people, hundreds of people, with a liquid net worth of over $20 million. So these are really wealthy people. Sure. Not with assets, but liquid net worth of $20 million.
Yeah.
And they asked them, what was the number one regret that they had? And they said, ironically, unanimously, what they had to sacrifice and give up to make all their money.
Yeah.
So you want to get all the money. And the secret, I guess, is can you maintain the things and the quality of life that you love while also in pursuit of being financially successful and independent?
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I see that even with clients. You know, they make all this money, but they see their kids once a week, you know, and it is definitely a tough life. And I think you have to pick your priorities. I have something I want to read to you if you still have some time, a few minutes for me.
Yeah.
I put these, I wrote this book that's taped to my hand. I wrote it during quarantine when I was in New Hampshire. I was just talking to people left and right who were getting fired and furloughed. And so many people, especially salespeople, right? They value their personal worth with how much money they make, how much they've sold, what their income is. And it just really got me thinking. And one of the things that's in the book are these kind of codes, right? Big money energy for me is big magnetic energy. It's how to take back control when you've lost control somehow, some way, when someone's taken it from you, so you can figure out how to lead the biggest life you possibly can. And big money energy code number 6 makes me think of you. So I just want to know what you think about it. It's ignore all the noise that's not beneficial to you. It's not raining if you don't get wet. I feel like that's right up your alley, right? Like it's the same thing. You don't negotiate your goals, right? Anyone else could quit, but you're so singularly focused on getting done what you need to get done. It's not raining if you don't get wet. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done it in many ways. I've bootstrapped businesses. I slept on 18 couches when I started out, friends that put me up. I sold a business to Warren Buffett's NetJets. We did $5 billion in sales. I've had both ends of the spectrum. I've struggled to make payroll. The 2 most liberating gifts you can give yourself as an entrepreneur. 1 is getting over the fear of being embarrassed. And number 2, if you could get rid of the fear of being embarrassed, you've opened up a whole new universe. And number 2, which is easier said than done, is what you're talking about, is not caring what other people think. Yeah. And, you know, that's not easy. It's easier said than done. But if you can get over the fear of embarrassment and not care what other people think, those are 2 really, really, key things for being an entrepreneur, but even just being human. Yeah. You know, human nature is to care what other people think. We want to be liked. I want to be liked. But I can't go crazy about what someone says when they write a book review, you know, in their basement in some, you know, and they hate I can't let that bother me. I have no control over it.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love it, especially the first one.
I got some friends on here, Ryan, that are popping in. I'm reading the comments.
Oh, good. Yeah,
I got some friends that are coming in. So hello, guys.
Show me your calendar. What is it? Talk to me about the idea behind this ginormous ass calendar.
Right. Well, listen, I feel like I'm a big planner, and I've invested a lot in life optimization, how to really maximize the year, because I feel like work schedules itself, right? Zoom meetings, appointments, showings, real estate meetings, work always schedules itself. But if we just allow that to happen, we live our life playing defense. Our calendar fills up with other people's requests for our time. And I've completely flipped the model upside down, and I schedule like the things that are important to me before the year first. So check this out. So this is actually, this little thing here opens up, I'm going to do this with one hand, into, hold on, stay with me, this big year at a glance calendar. So this is the entire year. It's huge, man. It's huge. And I lay out my year, and it folds. I take it with me, and I put down like my family trips, my races, you know, all on my calendar first. So I try to play offense, man. That's what I do.
That's awesome. And you do that, like, when do you do it? Just you do it in December as you get ready for the next year?
Yeah. So again, like, I feel like if I don't do that, the year gets away from me, right? Like, again, I'm bombarded with other people's requests. And I just write down, like, it's a very simple what I do. I write down, I do a lot of races. I write down my races. Yeah. And every other month, I try to do one thing like that I normally wouldn't have done. And I put all this stuff on my calendar in December. And then my work fills in around it. And I sync it with my wife. Easy day.
Nice. Someone just asked, actually, and I was going to ask the same thing. How long have you been doing that? Maybe not on something that big, but how long have you been planning out your entire year, the year before?
Only for about 3 or 4 years. Because when I was single, I got married at 40. I'm 50. I'm 53 or 54. I don't even know how old I am. I'm either 53 or 54. I don't know. I might be 52. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Dude, you live life urgently, man. It doesn't matter what age is.
Ryan, there's darkness and there's light. There's day and night. That's all that matters, right?
That's awesome.
No, listen. I'm 52. I'll be 53. In my 20s, first of all, in my 20s, I was eating dinner at 11 o'clock because I was starting a private jet company called Marquis Jet. I was working all day. I come home at 11 and I'd eat.
Yeah.
As you evolve, now I have 4 kids under 11. My life system has to evolve, right? I can't eat at 11. So part of that was I got to figure out, man, how I'm going to, take trips with my kids and see everybody and everything like this. So I needed to get more proactive in optimizing my calendar. So as you evolve, I feel like your system has evolved. And also, man, listen, everyone's like, oh, we all have the same 24 hours. I don't have the same 24 hours as everybody. 1 hour of my day is in carpool line. Like, no matter what, 1 hour of my day is in carpool. I have 23 hours, and then 1 hour of my days is like, I got to talk to we have dinner. I have 22 hours. So it's like half a part of my day is already accounted for, man.
Yeah. So someone asked here too, and I thought that was great. You plan out your year ahead of time. You don't negotiate with your goals. You live as urgently as you can. What do you do when the year gets pulled out from underneath you? How do you, like 2020, for example? I know that 2020 was, a year unlike any we'll probably ever live again, thank God. But what do you do when the unexpected happens? How do you get over loss? How do you get over kind of the unexpected, especially for someone who really likes planning?
Yeah, man. So, I have a lot of spontaneity in my life. If stuff comes up, I do it. It's not like everything is scripted. The big things I plan in advance that are important to me to make sure they get done. Yeah. And I have flexibility. Like, if something gets canceled because of COVID, I was doing a race called the Ultraman, which is a crazy race with my friend Kevin, who I just saw in here. And it got canceled in March. And I've been training for it for 3 or 4 months. But I'm not, I'll look for something else.
Sure.
I'll just, life happens and you adjust.
You just keep moving. Stay continuous.
Absolutely, man. Constant forward motion.
Yeah. Where can everybody get those calendars? I want those. Did we order one of those calendars? I want one of those calendars. Where can I get that calendar?
I want to get you one with a hand thing so you can carry it with you with your book.
Oh my God. People are going to be like, what is that? And I'm going to open up this 8-foot long. This is my life. Take a look at it.
And Ryan, you'll love this. I was in FedEx for 3 hours the other day. And I've been designing this planner. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yeah, kind of.
So this is you see this planner. It's got this whole thing. I got this whole cockamamie system. So I'm obsessed with calendars and planners. If you're a calendar or you're a planner, I have you. You're in my drawer somewhere. Anyone that's ever put out a calendar or planner, I think I've bought it. But a lot of them are filled with quotes and fancy quotes and all this shit, man. And so I did my own planner. So I've been at FedEx with all these different versions, cutting and scotch taping them together. And someone came in that knew me and she's like, I follow you because, I know your wife started Spanx and I'm a big fan of hers. So I follow you. And she's like, what in the world are you doing here? And I'm like, I made a planner and I'm organizing my planner. And she's like, well, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I'm going to sell it. And she's like, well, why are you doing it? What are you doing at FedEx? You've been here for 2 hours.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, I want to feel connected to the process.
Yeah.
I want to feel connected to it. So I just got my version of my planner. I'm going to send you that too. You're getting a calendar and a planner.
Holy shit. My life is going to be so organized. Where can anybody else order these things? Are they online? Where do people go?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So the calendar is actually sold out, but there is we're doing another run of it. It's, the link is in my bio, Jesse Itzler. And the planner also, if you guys follow me at Jesse Itzler, it should be ready in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to put it out.
Is every planner handmade by you at FedEx in Atlanta? Like, do you like, it's like an artist, right? Who writes down like 5 out of 250. It's got your sweat on it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I really feel like it's funny because people have had calendar book is outrageous. People have had, do you use, how do you plan? Do you have a calendar or a planner, or do you do everything digitally?
Yeah, no, I don't use a physical planner. I have a running to-do list that I mess with every Sunday. But other than that, my calendar is in my phone and in Outlook, and my team has access to it. And I just follow the calendar as we go. Try to make it work as best we possibly can. And I'm booked like on the 15-minute mark, so it can get a bit intense.
So Ryan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Because you're a high performing guy, and you have, you're an influencer. You're an expert in your space. I'm obsessed with people's habits. I feel like I'm just a compilation of the people that are most successful that I've come across,
sure,
of their habits and routines. And when I had Marquis Jet, the greatest gift wasn't the wire that Warren Buffett sent us when he bought the company. That was amazing. But it was the 3,000 people that we flew, and I was 29 years old, that were the CEOs, athletes, entertainers, the best in the world. Yeah. I got to ask them what does a typical day look like for you? Like, how do you start your day? And take me through a day.
Oh, me? Yeah, I Sunday through Friday, I wake up at 4. I handle emails and prep for the day between 4 and 4:30, 4:45, because no one else is bugging me, no one's bothering me, and I can be the first one. It's important for me to be first. So my emails go out to clients, to other brokers, to the people that work with me before they ever even wake up, so that when they do wake up, they know that I'm already first and I'm already at it. Then I go to the gym and I work out from like 4, it depends on the day, 4:30, 4:45 to about 6:30, depending on the day. And I got to work out early because it's the only time where I can solely focus on working out before the showings, before the clients, before the calls. I just started my own company in September, and so there's a lot going on. And then I get home, I shower, I get the baby at 7 o'clock, I give her milk, I bring her to my wife, and then I put her into the couch, and she watches Bubble Guppies, and then I go off to work, summertime between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And then my day typically starts in the office if I'm lucky, so I can kind of get, feel good about the day, get organized. And then I'm in the car, in the back seat, running around the city, doing appointments, filming, meeting new agents, meeting developers, putting pitches together, selling, doing showings, negotiating. I'm on the phone all day long, up until the evening. And if it's 2 nights a week, I get home by 6 o'clock. That's my compromise to put the baby to bed, and then I'll kind of go back to work afterwards. If it's not one of those nights, then I'll be in the office till whenever. And I prep for my day the night before, so that when I wake up early, I'm not scrambling. I'm very, very calculated about what I need to get done, and make sure I follow my list so I never forget anything, and just follow up. That's my day.
What time do you go to bed?
Somewhere between, if I'm lucky, now with no events, no dinners, nothing like that, 9:30 or so. Otherwise it's like 10. Latest I'll go to bed is 11. I can operate on 5 hours of sleep. I don't like to, but I can do it without problems.
That's impressive, man.
Yeah.
It's a busy day.
Yeah. And I mean, I have like 100 appointments a day. So it's, but my business is all about volume. It's the more balls I have in the air, the better it's going to be. So I have to have as many moving pieces, moving around all day long to increase my rate of return. And so that I'm not as personally invested in anything that falls apart, right? Especially when it comes to real estate deals. And, most people get into the real estate brokerage business and they quit, right? It's like 82% of the people that get their license quit in the first year because they just can't handle a dead deal. And they take it so personally that the person backed out because of their face or their voice, So for me, I want to do as many as possible, and you got to maximize your day. And I did the math once. the reason I wanted to talk to you as well, because I believe in a lot of what you talk about, and you're no bullshit, and I follow a lot of it, and I was like, okay, if I wake up at 4 and my competition wakes up at 7, I get an extra 3 hours of life, right? That short life that we all have that you were talking about. So 3 hours times 6 days a week times 52 weeks. That's a lot of extra life that I get to live and work and be productive that my competition is sleeping. You know, that's the way I did it. Maybe that'll change down the line when I'm 53, 52. Maybe it won't.
52 and you have how many children? One child?
One baby, yeah. I don't have 4 yet.
Right. So if you project out your life, see what you have to, what's going to be challenging for you. I'm going to break this down, guys, is at 50. So your window, you have a 20-year window of real relevance, right? There's not a lot of 70-year-olds that are super relevant. I hate to say that, but it's true. Your target zone is the next 15 to 20 years.
Yes.
The challenge for you, and people like, how many 70-year-olds are you hanging out with, Ryan?
Yeah, not a whole lot.
How many 7-year-olds were at Mount Washington when you climbed Mount Washington?
0.
How many 7-year-olds are wakeboarding? How many it's just your life changes as you get older.
Yeah, of course.
Your window is 17 years and you have a 1-year-old. So in the next 5 years, when your child's 5, that one bottle feeding in the morning and at night is going to change to school meetings, games, whatever. Your window is really short to maximize all the stuff that you want to do. And your life's going to really change in the next decade. You know, all of our lives are, obviously. I mean, my parents, think about this. My parents are in their 90s. People don't think, this other thing, we were talking about our relationship with time. So like, let's say, how old are your parents alive?
Yeah, they're alive.
Where do they live?
They're in Arizona.
And how old are they?
My dad is in his early 70s. My mom is in her late 60s.
And how often do you see them? How many times a year?
A couple times. Less now, given travel and everything, but a couple times a year.
Let's say you see him 3 times a year, maybe, with travel, 2 or 3 times. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So let's say your parents live, the average American lives to be 78, but let's say your parents live to be, I don't know, 85, another 15 years, okay? Sure. Which would be, I hope they live longer, but let's say they live 15 more years. You don't have 15 years with them. You have 30 visits with them if you see them 2 times a year. Yeah. So when you start,
that's a messed up way to think about it.
But that's the reality. That's the reality, man. Like when people think we have time. How many people on this listening to this Instagram have their graveyard plot picked out? Probably 0. We all know we're going to die one day, but none of us thinks it's going to happen anytime. So like you can't have real urgency in what you want to do unless you have a real understanding that you can walk out of your house one day and bam, a friggin' Mack truck can hit you. Like there is no guarantee. So when you think of that with your parents and say, wow, I only have 30 visits left with my parents, you say, okay, well then I want to change the way I live. I want to change how many times I see them. That's not acceptable. Maybe you want to call them more often. You know, so I'm not picking on you. It's true of everybody. What I'm saying is, you know, we're talking about time. We brought this up in the beginning of the call, and what's my relationship with time? Time is about moments, man. It's not about how many days I have or the routine I live in. It's those magical moments that I could create. And, you know, you at 53, your day is amazing. It's like you get up at 4, everything is planned. You work out, you're with your kid, you know, like it's packed. Your day is 5 days in one. So in the next 30 years, it's like you're living 150 years because like you're doing so much. But I'm just pointing out, it's going to change.
Sure.
That window, you know, and I think it's really important for everybody to be aware of where they are on their journey and like project out 5 years, 10 years. Because, you know, like I hope my parents live forever, but there's a good chance they might not be here in 5 years, 10 years. You know, my life's going to look a lot different, man.
Yeah, of course.
And that drives a lot of my decisions.
My older brother is on here. He said, I think he just said, you don't call me enough, bro. Like I gotta go call my whole family now, my whole life. This call with you just messed me up. Listen, you're the man. Thank you so much
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
This is real to me, man. This isn't like, you know, like I'm going to see my parents on Thursday because I am aware of the time, you know, that the sand of the time is always going down, and I just haven't seen it, you know, and it's like, and I'm not trying to pick on you at all. You're you're amazing, you know, like what you're able to do, your energy level, your ability to get stuff done. You have huge, you know what your superpower is, Ryan? Your capacity. You have amazing capacity. Book writing, deal making, selling, pitching, family time, working out. Like, that's amazing capacity. And that's what we all want, right? Because success isn't being good at like one thing. Like, you know, you said about money in the beginning of the call.
Yeah.
If you're really good at making money, you know what that makes you? Rich. But that doesn't necessarily make you successful. Success is being, you know, good in multiple buckets, being a good parent, a good son, a good friend, philanthropic, being good at business. All that, man, that's what success is. Otherwise, you're just, you know, and that's what we want. And you have amazing capacity to do a lot. I watch you on Instagram, man. You have amazing capacity.
Thanks, man. Listen, you're a beast, dude. This has been awesome. Sorry, I have an attorney calling me right now. He's probably wondering why I'm on Instagram Live and not returning his call. It's like, let's get this deal done. Dude, you're the man. This has been awesome. I'm going to save this. I'll put this on IGTV. Everyone should go to your page, go to the link in your bio, get the next drop of your big calendar and your planner. Please send it to me, and we're going to fill it up, and I'm going to take photos of it and send it to you so you can critique me.
Done deal, man. I'm getting that and a planner.
Good. Thank you, dude.
Send me the book.
I will. I will. We just got them now. This one is still taped to my hand. But yeah, the book comes out February 2nd. Thank you so much for being here.
Ryan, before you go, I know you have to go. Do you ever see the movie The Jerk?
Yes, a long time ago.
Steve Martin creates this thing called the OptiGrab, and he makes $1 bazillion. That reminds me of your handbook thing.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't even think about that. I got to go back and rewatch that movie.
All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya.